No, this is damning. It really is.
Aja Wilson isn't holding back. She's calling out her own teammates like she's the coach, GM, and owner all rolled into one. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's offseason grind has fans convinced she just hit her Super Saiyan phase. One star is stirring up locker room drama, while the other is leveling up like she's in an anime training arc. So, what's really going on? Let's break it all down, because this tea is almost as hot as Aja's confidence.
So Caitlin Clark in college was not the strongest player in the world. Like, she was somebody that wasn't weak by any means, but we saw when it came to the WNBA that she wasn't able to really assert herself physically, and in fairness, her first game matchup was a tough one because her first matchup was against
Aja. Wilson isn't holding back. She's calling out her own teammates like she had no part in the Aces' struggles last season. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has been locked in, hitting the gym so hard that fans are joking she just got recruited by the Avengers. While Aja is making headlines for pointing fingers, Caitlin's putting in the work, and the internet can't get enough of the results.
It wasn't a championship locker room, Wilson said. I mean, out of the gate, going into training camp, I was like, we ain't got it. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. I always told myself, we're going to get it. We're going to check each box, but we didn't.
When the Aces faltered last season, Aja Wilson stood by her teammates. At least, that's how it seemed. Now, she's calling them out, pointing fingers like she wasn't right there on the court when things unraveled. Instead of taking responsibility, she's putting the blame on the locker room. So, was it really everyone else's fault, Aja? Fans aren't so sure.
Caitlin Clark is carrying the WNBA, and the numbers prove it. But guess what? Some so-called experts are downplaying her impact. CBS reporters actually said she's not the one moving the sport forward. Seriously? Clark is responsible for over 20% of WNBA sales.
Caitlin Clark is in the best shape of her life, and the internet is losing it. She's stronger, faster, and more explosive than ever. You can see the definition in her arms, the power in her legs. She's built for dominance. This is what greatness looks like. The best athletes take criticism, turn it into fuel, and come back even better. Caitlin isn't just hearing the noise, she's answering with results.
You know how the league plays, if nothing else.
Yes, she is stronger, first and foremost. And again, she's got a lot of self-awareness. And, she figured that out, right away. Like, I need to get stronger. I can't get knocked around as much. And so she's done a great job of getting in the weight room and really focusing on her areas that she needs to focus on in terms of strength, in terms of, low center of gravity, time under tension, like all of those things. I think the next step is
Caitlin Clark is grinding, turning criticism into motivation and coming back stronger than ever. Aja Wilson? Well, she's a little too busy making excuses. She's got a ring, but now that things aren't going her way, she's throwing teammates under the bus like she's driving an 18-wheeler. Accountability? Nowhere to be found. If Caitlin had Aja's mindset, she'd still be in the gym complaining instead of getting better. But that's not how she's built. While Caitlin is setting the standard for leadership, Aja is pointing fingers. Maybe instead of looking for scapegoats, she should take a page out of Caitlin's playbook.
This guy was working out when something unexpected happened that freaked everyone out. You could see the surprise on the face of the woman next to him, clearly concerned by the unusual noise that erupted. But instead of panicking, he remained completely unfazed. As it turns out, he was just cracking his back, a sound that might have seemed alarming at first. He gave it another crack in a different position, proving he was totally fine.
Caitlin Clark doesn't need to say a word. Her work speaks for itself. The muscle definition, the explosiveness on the court. She's about to be an even bigger nightmare for defenders next season. Meanwhile, Aja Wilson, she's gearing up with a fresh batch of excuses for when things don't go her way again. While Aja keeps pointing fingers, Caitlin is letting her grind do the talking, and the internet can't get enough. The 2025 season hasn't even tipped off, and Caitlin is already winning. Meanwhile, Aja is still busy trying to convince everyone she's not the problem. Keep talking, Aja. Caitlin will just keep working.
That you all have to keep in mind is that the Las Vegas Aces do not have a GM right now. They let go of their GM a couple months ago, and they have not put anyone in that place. And so, hey, Nikki Fargas and Becky Hammon are trying to make some wonders without an actual GM. So let's get into specifically what has been happening. So the latest departures for the Las Vegas Aces include 2 heavy hitters off the bench and 2 former 2023 and 2024.
Caitlin Clark saw the chaos last season and said, "Not this year." Y'all remember how defenders treated her like tackling was part of the scouting report? She was getting double-teamed at the grocery store, full-court pressed in the parking lot, and hit with flagrant fouls at the gas station. It was absurd. But instead of complaining, cough Aja Wilson cough. Caitlin locked in. No distractions, no vacations, no "I need to rest my body" excuses. Just 6 straight months of grinding. And now, she's about to make every defender regret last season's antics.
I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. I feel like there's just so many areas that I want to improve in and to continue to get in the gym and work on that every
When you're talking about GOATs of the W, I need my name to be up there, at least top 3. Like, that's my goal, is like, I want something like, when you're thinking of women's basketball, when you're thinking of the W, I want my name to be on it.
Come on, tell them, Asia, tell them.
Takes, like, whatever it needs to get there, whether it's the rings, whether it's the accolades individually, like, I want to be up there.
Aja. Wilson has been busy this offseason, but not in the gym. Nope. She's been running a one-woman excuse tour. "Oh, I was tired. Oh, we had injuries. Oh, the refs didn't give us calls. Girl, please." The Aces were handed a super team and still looked lost when it mattered most. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was getting tackled like it was the NFL and didn't say a word. She just hit the gym and turned into a Marvel character. And now, she's downright scary. You thought she had range before? Now she's pulling from the other team's locker room. You thought she was tough before? Now she's dropping 40 while carrying defenders like a backpack. And the best part? She's just getting started. Aja Wilson, still explaining why she couldn't get the job done. It was a long season. Yeah, Caitlin's season was long too, and she spent every day making sure next year's defenders are going to need therapy after guarding her. It was fatigue. Fatigue? Caitlin's been grinding in the gym for 6 straight months. No breaks, no excuses. And let's be real, Caitlin showing up to training camp looking like a superhero while Aja shows up with another excuse is the funniest thing ever. One of them has been putting in work. The other has been putting in interviews. One has been lifting weights. The other has been lifting blame. One is about to dominate the league. The other is about to come up with a new excuse for why she didn't. The season is about to tip off, and you already know what's coming. Aja Wilson will be on the sideline talking about, "We gotta stay locked in while Caitlin Clark is busy sending the ball into orbit." Aja will be on the bench looking confused while Caitlin's defenders are filing workers' comp claims. Aja will be looking for sympathy, but all she's getting is a front row seat to the Clark show. Last season, the league tried to slow Caitlin down. Now they're about to face a version of her that looks like she's been training with The Rock. Meanwhile, Aja, she'll still be out here blaming the refs, the schedule, the sun, the moon, and the alignment of the planets.
They have a beautiful season. The Indiana Fever, based on what they did last year before she got there, based on how they look now since she's gotten there.
They're going to make the playoffs, Ocho, and they didn't do that last year.
Yeah, it ain't rocket science. Sis is good.
Y'all didn't think she heard all the comments about her not deserving? You don't get to the level she got to without using some type of fuel.
Aja Wilson spent the offseason blaming everyone but herself for the Aces' problems. And now, she's out here, playing public relations manager, telling fans to relax. Relax? Ma'am, the entire roster is vanishing. Sydney Colson left, and Aces fans reacted like they just lost their whole family in a house fire. And now Aja's in the locker room, going off on everyone like it's their fault, but let's talk about Kelsey Plum's exit, because this one is gold. She leaves the Aces, lands in LA, and what's the first thing she says? "I've never been treated so well." Oof. That's gotta sting. You know it's bad when someone willingly leaves Vegas to go play for the Sparks and suddenly starts talking about how great life is. That's like leaving a 5-star resort and saying, "Man, this motel with the broken AC and vending machine dinner is the best place I've ever been." Aja Wilson is looking around like, wait, why is everyone leaving? Maybe because the vibes are terrible, Aja. Maybe people got tired of the dictatorship in that locker room. But nope, according to her, it's everyone else's fault. First, it was management, then it was player decisions. Next thing you know, she's going to blame the janitor for sweeping the wrong way. And let's not forget Aces fans. Oh, they were in shambles over Sydney Colson leaving, crying like they just lost LeBron in free agency. But Aja, she jumps on Twitter talking about, stay calm, we're going to be fine. Fine? Where? You went from a super team to praying you don't end up like last year's Indiana Fever, and now Aja wants to play victim in all of this? Oh, suddenly she's the leader trying to hold things together? No. You had all that energy for blaming people, but now you're out here trying to play peacemaker. That's like setting a house on fire and then handing out water bottles. Too late for that, sis. But hey, Aces fans, don't worry. Maybe next season, y'all can just run a 3-on-3 league since there's barely a team left.
Staley taught her that a winning team should, quote, look, sound, and feel a certain way. I gotta tell you, there's a lot that one could take out of that right there. Wilson said that the Aces didn't meet those standards.
Aces fans are not okay right now. Their beloved Aja Wilson is losing teammates left and right, and suddenly, Vegas doesn't look so untouchable anymore. You hate to see it. Actually, scratch that. Every other WNBA team loves to see it, especially the Indiana Fever because they are cooking in free agency. Look, Aces fans have had it easy for way too long. They got to sit back, sip their overpriced Vegas cocktails, and enjoy their little super team while everyone else suffered. But now? Oh, now they're furious because the Fever are out here signing players like they actually want to win games. The audacity, the disrespect. How dare Indiana build a competitive roster instead of rolling over and playing dead like last year? Somebody call security because Aces fans are having a full-blown meltdown.
One more for you. No playoffs since 2020, no championship since 2016 for the Sparks, who at one point were one of the marquee franchises in the WNBA. What's your timeline for getting back to that level?
Taking a day at a time. But I do know that in everything that I do, I will win. So I feel very confident about who I am and what I can bring. Because it doesn't matter me being here if I don't affect winning. But I know I can do that at the highest level, so that's what I'm most excited about.
Let's talk about Caitlin Clark. Did she need to improve that much? Probably not. But did she still hit the gym and take her game to another level? Oh, absolutely. It's like she woke up one day and decided, you know what? Let me go ahead and make the WNBA even more unfair. She was already dropping logo threes for fun, and now she's got an even quicker release, tighter handles, and somehow an even higher basketball IQ. The Fever didn't just draft a star, they drafted a monster. And Aja Wilson? Oh, she is not going to like this one bit. See, Aja was used to being the face of the league, but that spotlight is getting real crowded real fast. Caitlin Clark isn't just bringing talent, she's bringing an entire army of fans with her. And these Fever signings? Yeah, this team isn't just here to make the playoffs. They might just mess around and win the whole thing. And the funniest part, Aces fans can't do a thing about it, except sit there and watch.
With breaking news, can y'all stop, please? Sydney Colson, another big signing. They got their backup point guard, a two-time champion, so now they got even more past champions on their team. Indiana Fever ain't playing around. They are not messing around. They getting their starting five together and they backups. Now you got legitimate points coming off the bench. Now you got a legitimate point guard that's not going to turn the ball over like Erica Wheeler did most of the time.
When Curry met his class teacher, his reaction was so real and cute. When Curry's high school teacher decided to take his wife to watch Curry's game, he wanted to see if the student who hadn't seen him for many years still remembered his class teacher. After they arrived in Oakland, they bought Curry's jersey and prepared to give it to him for an autograph. They arrived at the stadium early and stayed by the players' tunnel, worried that they would miss the encounter with Curry. The teacher seemed a little nervous. When Curry came to
the Indiana Fever are officially on the rise, and every team in the WNBA should be terrified. Caitlin Clark is coming, and she's bringing the best Fever squad we've seen in years. And let's be real, this is just the beginning. Indiana is cooking something special, and by the time they're done, the Aces might just be another team in the way. So, Fever fans, get hyped. Aces fans, hold on tight, because it's about to be a long season for y'all. And as for Aja Wilson, she better get comfortable, because the days of her running the league uncontested, yeah, those are over.